So this is Emmy's place video. So the rules on place are no barking, no jumping, no coming off until our release. So one of the biggest things to remember for the place, well, in general, is the way the dogs learn. So dogs learn in pictures, and they understand the pictures. Emmy understands the picture with me really well. You know, we've done it, put lots of hours into it. We've done it here, we've done it inside, we've done it up front, we've just done it everywhere. So she understands that I'm always going to correct her for coming off. She's never going to get away with it. But also good things happen on the place bed as well. We deal, you know, a lot in consequences. Good consequences. You stay on the place bed, you do what I like, you get treats and bully sticks and love and whatever it is that you want on the place bed. But you come off, consequence is you're going to get a correction on your collar, which Emmy's so sensitive, Emmy's so sensitive, she does not want to be corrected. So she really, and it's not even hard correction, so she really takes that to heart and really understands the consequences really well. So she can do whatever she wants on the place bed. She can chew a bone, play with a toy, sleep. You can put something soft on there if you want, whatever. But she's just not allowed to bark. So if she barks for that, I'm going to mark it the second she barks. I'm going to tell her no. And then from wherever I'm at in the house, and then I'm going to come over, even though she barked and it's over, I'm still going to correct her for it. And that's why we mark it. So wherever I'm at, I'll say no to tell her right there, I don't like that. So then I walk over, and I'm going to give her a little correction on her collar, just a little pop and release. She can't jump while she's on there, so she can't like crawl up somebody or crawl up the couch or whatever. And obviously she can't come off. So the second she makes a mistake is when one paw touches the ground. So she can hover and she can almost look like she's coming off, but try to refrain from correcting her verbally in that moment, because we want her to really understand the boundaries. So if you like verbally correct her before she actually comes off, it might confuse her a little bit. So we want her to know exactly the second that paw hits the ground, that's where you've made a mistake. We don't like that. So she's so good. So when you first go home, your first few weeks, first week definitely, she's gonna make more mistakes in that first week than she'll ever make again. And that's gonna be her testing her boundaries. She's gonna be wondering, are you gonna follow through on the rules? Does she have to follow through on the rules? Because she's never seen the place bed in your home. She's never done any of that, so that's all brand new. So she's gonna test you guys and see what she can get away with. And as long as you're consistent and repetitious, and she understands that no matter what, I'm always gonna get the same consequences, good and bad, she's gonna get with the program a little bit faster. So to make sure that your rules are my rules and we're all on the same page, I want you guys the first couple weeks to do some of these lessons at home. And these are going to be the 3 Ds. The first is going to be duration. That's the amount of time she's on the place bed. Now Emmy's done probably almost 2 hours on the place bed in one sitting. So this will be a good distraction. There's a dog up here in front of Emmy, so she has to stay on the place bed, even though there's a dog walking around the yard on a leash. So the first is duration, like I said. So she's done anywhere upwards of a couple hours. Now, because she is a baby and because I love her, I like to give her something to do while she's on there. So you hear that whining, so that's kind of on a line there, and that's up to you on whether you correct that or not, because it's not technically against the rules. Whining really doesn't bother me that much, so I tend to ignore it. Now the other trainer, she will hear the tiniest whine and she corrects it. She hates it. So that's going to be up to you guys on whether you correct that or not. Now if her whining hits a certain pitch and then it starts like hurting my ears, then I'm going to correct her to stop. And also what happens is when they start whining, they start amping themselves up almost like in a panic. So she'll start getting like almost panicky. And I'm getting to the point where I'm getting ready to correct her because you can hear her amping up. No. So when you work on duration, the best way to work on duration is to go about your normal life like, you know, you're gonna have dinner. So put her on a place bed, give her something to do, a bone to chew on, bully stick to eat, something like that. And then just, you know, have your dinner or pop on a movie. You're going to turn on a movie, put her on her place bed, give her something to do. The other way you can work on it to start building some duration is you put her on her place bed with no bully stick. Say 2 minutes passes. You're going to mark it with a yes because I like what she's doing. So we're going to say yes. And then I'll come over and reward. And on this, here's going to be another good test for her. We got 2 doggos coming through here. So we are going to mark that with a yes. And you notice I treated on the place bed, not directly from my hand. We want to really build that association that all good things come from the place, not from me necessarily on this position. And also a lot of times if she's used to eating out of your hand, you may accidentally lure her off the bed, not meaning to. So we don't want that. So, you know, then maybe 3 more minutes pass and you're going to mark it with that yes, you're going to come over and reward. Then maybe 8 minutes pass. You're going to mark it with that yes, you're going to go over and reward. And then 15 minutes. And what you're doing is you're spacing out how often you're rewarding her. So she's waiting a little bit longer every time for that reward. So that's 2 ways you can work on duration at home. So then the second D is going to be, sorry, I keep messing with this camera. The second is going to be distance. So that's how far away can I get from her and can I go out of sight? So the answer to the question, can I go out of sight, is yes, to a certain extent. So you can be gone 3-5 minutes, something like that. If you gotta run upstairs, you gotta run in the kitchen, do some stuff. You don't necessarily have to have your eyeballs on her 24/7. But that being said, you don't want to put her on place and then like go take a shower with nobody watching her. You don't want to put her on place and leave the house. You don't put her on place at night and expect her to stay there to go to bed. Because what happens is after a certain amount of time, nobody's around. She's gonna test the boundaries. She's gonna say, nobody's here, I'm gonna see what happens. So she'll come off. The second she comes off and nothing happens, that's when she's gonna be like, oh, so when my people aren't around, I can come off this whenever we want. So we've done a lot of work with teaching her to stay on the place bed no matter the circumstances. We would have to go back and kind of reteach that. So when we're not actively using the place bed, we pick it up, we prop it up against the wall, put it in a closet. It doesn't get to stay down all day. She doesn't get to like play on it, party on it, you know, throughout the day. This is a very specific cue. We're only using it for when we need it, and then we're putting it up when we're done. So I'm just gonna walk up, you know, on the top of the hill, wander around a little bit, and we've actually never done distance out here, and there's daycare going on. That's where those loud barking is coming from, so that's going to be really distracting. What I am going to do is I have that 6-foot leash on her. I am going to put the handle of the leash under the leg, and that's for mostly like if she breaks, you know, it's not a huge deal, we can fix that, but I don't want her to get the reward of breaking and coming to get me, or getting them. I got toys over here, I don't want her to go grab the toys or run up on that dog.
For the good girl. For a such a good girl. I love her. For a such a good girl. For a good girl.
So I don't know if you heard that, but there's a little cursing there, so I may edit that out a little bit. We don't want that in your video. So, you know, obviously she understands even if I'm not standing right there with her. I was gonna go out of the gate, but I couldn't tell if you could actually see it, so I didn't do that. But we'll work on out of sights when you come for the lesson. So the last is gonna be distractions. So we've got some pretty great distractions here. Obviously we have dogs and people and toys, squeakies, all these good things, but it's never gonna be the same as home because she loves you guys. Like, I like to believe she loves me now too, but she's never, it's gonna be a totally, I gotta get this done, I'm gonna move this. It's gonna be a totally different scenario because she's gonna want to be all up in your jelly. So she's gonna want to be with you guys. You know, say you want to work on place and you know you have company coming over. I want you guys to think about distractions or anything in the next week as it being a brand new experience for her, because it is. Every new thing that happens in your house in the next 2 weeks is brand new. She's never done place in your house. She's never done place with you guys. She's never done place when her favorite person walks through the door and she's on the place bed. She's never done place when the delivery guy comes. She's never done place when you guys are hanging out on the couch, you know, watching TV. So these are all going to be new experiences. So you have to treat it like that. And what I mean by that is if she does break, it's always a no. We're going to tell her no from wherever we're at. Second the paw comes off, no. And then we're going to go give that little correction. It's just a little pop on the leash. We want to make sure that she knows no matter what. What we do not want at all, and that's another reason why you may want to do the leash under the leg the first few days. I've found smaller dogs have a tendency to, the first couple times they break, they'll just take off and hide. They'll go to a place they know, like behind a couch or, you know, under a bed, somewhere where it's super annoying to go get her to. Because once she gets out of that room and she's hiding somewhere, there's no point in giving any punishment because we've missed the moment. And chances are, the way the dog's brains work, it's already in the past. So if you do go find her and then you're, you know, correcting her all the way back, then she's not gonna have any understanding. She's gonna be like, what's happening here? So the first couple weeks, just keep in mind she never gets to break the place bed. She never, if she comes off, you never want to say, it's okay, no big deal, you're free anyway. No, you have to get her back on the place bed, and then you can free her up from there whenever you're ready. The second thing is building that reward history. She doesn't need anything with me now, like treats or bully sticks or anything. She can be on there for, hour and a half and not have anything. But I do want to reward the behavior, so I do want to reward her for good behavior. So, or I want you guys to, because I want you to build that history at home. Oh, when I'm on the place bed, when they're watching TV, good things happen. Oh, when they're eating dinner, good things happen. So we want to make sure that we build this history up of good things happen when I do the job I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to get a couple of distractions out, and I'm going to actually try to make her come off of the place bed, because I want you to see what it looks like when getting her back on. Yummy whammy. Yes, good girl. So she didn't come off the place bed. I'm going to reward that. That was really good. Good job, Yummy. Yes, good girl. Up here. Good girl.
That is our toy. That's our toy.
Oh, nope. Place. So she messed that one up. I got her back on the place bed. She did a little pancake, so I had to pull her back up. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna make sure to do the exact same thing, that whatever it is that made her come off, so that she gets the picture right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
I know, it's a bummer.
Are so good.
So at least you got one opportunity. Now that toy that I was using, that little stuffy, that's what we've been using to work on leave it and drop it with. So it's a really high value toy. We've played with that a lot. So she was like, oh, this is a new situation. I'm gonna come off the place bed and get it because I've done it, you know, I've played with that toy so many times. So it's just about us making sure that she understands that she has to stay on even if I'm playing with that toy that we play with all the time. So that was good. I was glad she came off, that we got a opportunity to practice that. The last thing we're going to talk about is freeing up from the place bed. Now I've just spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes trying to get her to come off. So at first she may be a little weirded out and a little leery about coming off, but we never want to call her from across the room or free her from somewhere else. We always want to go to the place bed, because if I get into the habit of putting her on a place bed and going across the living room and then calling her, do that a lot of times, eventually she's never going to settle on the place bed like she is now. She'll always be, are they going to call me? Are they going to call me? She may start breaking more often, breaking the position, or she'll just never get comfortable. So I want her to know when I put her on the place bed and I walk away, there's zero chance of her coming off. The only time she gets to get released is when I go to the place bed. So I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to tell her FREE. I may have to help her out with the leash a little bit because I've been trying to trick her and she knows it. Maybe not. Once that's done, I'm going to flip the bed up and then we're going to be done.
Hey, honey.
Alright, so that is place.